Hey guys, it's Matt Santagapita from the Santa Sells Houses team, and I thought I'd jump on and look at the effects that we have seen in the London market with all the 2022 interest rate hikes by the Bank of Canada. As everybody's probably aware, in 2 weeks is the October 26th announcement, so most likely we'll probably see a rate increase. However, I wanted to go over what has happened in the market since they have started increasing rates. And so, as you can see, I've got my screen share on here, and let's just jump straight into it. And a graph is the easiest way for people to understand things. So, as you can see in here, as of September, we have a median home price of $590. August, we were $580. And July, we were $582,500. Now, the good news here is I think it's safe to say that the Bank of Canada, at least in the context of London's market, has created stable pricing. 3 months in a row where we haven't seen a big upswing or downswing is stability. I guess if we could just look at that and say, hey, Bank of Canada, stop raising rates, that'd be great. However, who knows what they're going to do. Now, we've come down from the high, which is February, March, of 777, 775 range, which is pretty substantial. We're approaching, mid to high 20%. I believe it's probably about 20, I think it's about 29%, 28%, somewhere in that range. So we've come down. Now, if you extend further out and you say, okay, year over year, well, we're only down 1.7%. Now, that's kind of a funny way of looking at it because at the same time, and I'm just going to jump to an Excel sheet, to really look at that time frame and say, oh, we've only come down by 1.7 over the past 12 months. Well, here's the kind of, I guess, the different part of that conversation is a year ago when we were at the same 590 range. Well, mortgage rates back then were just over 2%, so about 2.1, 2.3% for a 5-year fixed rate, and currently a 5-year fixed rate is sitting at 5.49 on a 25-year AM. So the reality is the payment has changed drastically. But what I also wanted to show you is we've broken out the past 4 quarters and the price segments. So $100,000 price ranges and really laid out so you can see at the start here we have Q4 of 2021 is our kind of base numbers. Q1 of 2022, you can see we saw actual drop in sales between the 100,000 to the, call it really the $600,000 mark, which is interesting to see. But what we saw there is there was very little supply. And a lot of people were flocking to new builds, which new construction is up in here. New construction, you're hitting into the 800 plus mark. Now, moving into Q2, once we started to see rate increases, granted the March 1st one was only 25 basis points, but that's when the language towards the end of Q1 was out of the Bank of Canada was we're raising rates. And what did we see? We started to see that range between 700 to 1.5 million start to drop. Sales did start to drop. And then again, looking at Q3 of this year, again, that 500 to that 1.5 million, again, double digit drops. So I think it's safe to say the Bank of Canada accomplished what they wanted to accomplish as far as housing price appreciation. Hopefully they slow things down. I think that would be a good idea. But just thought we'd dig into the effects of what has happened in the local London real estate market. And just to do comparison of Q3 2022 to 2021, you can actually really see here huge differences. And again, in 2021, we had record low mortgage rates. So 5-year money was dirt cheap. It was around 2%. I think there were even some cases where some people could actually get a special rate, and even hit 1.8, 1.9 for these odd mortgages. So it's telling. It shows that yes, things are slowing, prices are coming down, and it's maybe not so much that the prices are coming down. It's just if 6 months ago you were shopping for a home $800,000 because you could afford it. Well, now you're just being pushed to what's selling in the $500,000 mark. They're still homes. They're still great. And we still have to live someplace. So, general thought here, where do I think the market's going? I think the reality is it does depend on what we see from the Bank of Canada on the 26th. Hopefully, we don't see anything more than maybe a 25 basis point hike. I think the market is exhausted from these rate hikes. I do believe that we need to let them settle in and let things calm down and allow people to continue to digest them. We're also getting a lot of questions where people are asking, is now a good time to buy? My belief is it's always a good time to buy. And the reasoning there is you have to live somewhere, especially if you're paying rent and you can afford and qualify for the mortgage. You're better off to own the asset and pay it off over time versus giving your landlord rent. We do work with landlords and there's nothing wrong with renting, but the reality is if you're staying, put your job secure, you're not looking to get a transfer, you're not looking to change careers, things like that, and you're looking to put down roots, I do strongly believe that home ownership is always a plus. So again, let's see what happens. We're just under 2 weeks away from this next rate hike. At that point, we'll do another video and kind of dissect, how the market's absorbing it. In the meantime, if you do have any questions, do you have any comments, throw them down in the comments section. Feel free to send us a direct message as well. A lot of people do like that as the direct message dialogue. We're always open to conversation and answering any questions you have. Thank you.